welcome to another edition of 360 Half Seconds. My name is Kia from 360 Vet Sales, and with me today is 360 Vet Sales CEO Matt Arena. Matt, how's it going?
Going well. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. Doing well. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about real estate. But before we do, I'm just going to remind everybody quickly how this works. I'm going to give Matt 360 half seconds or 3 minutes to answer my question. And the time is going to start as soon as I'm done asking my first question. So, Matt, you ready to go?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Matt, question today is if I'm a practice owner looking to sell my practice, do I need to sell my real estate as part of my business sale? Time starts now.
Okay. Good question. So no, actually the market's kind of changed from a few years ago where you had a lot of buyers were actually buying both. They were putting offers in for both the real estate and the practice. In today's market, we don't really see many buyers wanting to buy the practice real estate anymore. They're actually saying, hey, we're actually more interested in owning the practice. So more often than not, you're going to be in a position as a seller to sell your practice, but keep the real estate if you own it. If you don't own it, then the lease agreement just transfers to the new owner, which is the buyer group or whoever you're selling to. If you do own your real estate, then what typically or traditionally has been happening in today's world is you'll enter into what's called a triple net lease with the buyer. And in the triple net lease, they're going to pay you a desired rent, which you want to, your ideal thing would be to get to market rate rent. And then they're going to cover repairs and maintenance with, there's obviously always some exclusions, but for the most part, they'll cover all the repairs and maintenance. They'll pay your insurance and your property tax. So that becomes a really nice pass-through cash flow for you, the seller. The other thing that I think is important to mention here, I'm trying to think of what I can mention. When you are selling your practice, you should probably, I would advise using a professional. We know a few real estate professionals that specialize in veterinary space because a lot of times they're willing to look at your location, look at your building, and give you an estimate or a range. This is what we believe market rent is, so that you know you're charging the appropriate rent. Because the thing that's nice about you maintaining the ownership of the building is now you can sell that asset in your portfolio or the real estate, whatever you want to call it, at a time and place of your choosing, when the market's
Sure.
right for you, when the timing is right for you. And the reason I advise that you use a professional to set your rent is because the valuation of a building like that is going to be based upon a cap rate or a percentage and what you're getting in annual rent. So that's why
Got it.
that's important.
So in a lot of ways, it's actually kind of a blessing in disguise that the buyers don't want to buy your practice because one, you're now going to be able to sell your practice at the height of the market whenever
Real
that
estate. Practice real estate. Yep.
Thank you for correcting me. You're going to be able to sell the real estate at the height of the real estate market in your area. There is no hurry to do it. You do it at your own time. In the meantime, you're making passive income every month without any of the hassle of having, that comes with necessarily renting a place. But in addition to that, you're maybe even raising the value of your real estate a little bit because anybody that does look to buy it down the road is going to see that once you've sold your practice, there's a long-term tenant sitting in your building.
Right.
Are all those things fair to say?
Yeah, exactly. You get a nice long-term lease typically, so you have a lot of safety nets around your asset that can help. Again, I think the most important point here is you don't have to sell it right now. You can sell it when you want to. It could be 2 months after closing. It could be 6 years after closing.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Well, for once, we may actually stay within the 360 half seconds here, Matt, because I don't have any more questions in regards to the real estate. And thank you for kind of, really breaking that down. I guess the one last thing I could add is it's not to say that a buyer won't buy your real estate. It's just not as common as it used to be. And the reality is, are you really going to get the most bang for your buck if you sell your real estate as part of a package to sell your practice?
In the I think it's unlikely because there's not many that I know that are doing it anymore. It's just not happening. I don't even see offers like that. But when we were seeing offers, I will say they were offering good prices and it was in my due diligence, they were at market rate. So the buyers were offering a pretty fair offer for the building. It just, most sellers looked at it and go, why don't I just hang on to it and have the passive income? So,
Okay. And now mainly it's that you're not even really getting offers for the real
no.
estate. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hope you guys all enjoyed this topic. This is a question that comes up all the time. So we wanted to tackle that one today. Um, look, I have a list of topics that we could talk about, but really what I want to hear from is anybody that's watching. If you guys have something that's really like, burning a hole in your brain and you want us to talk about that and you want to learn more about it or know more about it, send us a note. I'm Kia at 360vetsales.com. That's KIA. He's Matthew with 2 T's at 360vetsales.com. Send us a note or just under the comment section here, list out what it is that you want us to talk about, and we're happy to tackle it.
Awesome.
All right. Anything else from you today?
No.
All right. Then thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone.